Hey guys, Frank here, your virtual general aviation aviator, and this time we're going to install some plugins. Joy! Let's see what we got here. So, I know when I load X-Plane, then one of the plugins that I'm really missing is Traffic Global. Now, Traffic Global is a really easy plugin to install because it comes with an installer. Thank God. So, but I'm going to pop in the KRDU in the Piper error and take a look at the airport, and we'll see how lonely I am there before I install the traffic. Now, I do have some other traffic systems. I have world traffic, and I may even have live traffic. Live traffic was free. So yeah, even just looking at the airport, I mean, it really looks lonesome down there. Okay, let's see. Didn't mean to steer off the runway. Oh, this is hard. Okay, so anyway, guys, that was fun all over the airport. So what I could do um, is put in park, let's see, turn on in graphics, parked aircraft, and just turning on draw part aircraft. Let's see, do start a little bit with the man, I just cannot taxi from the chase position. I just can't seem to do it. Well, I'm not concentrating on what I'm doing because I want to look at the traffic and not where I'm going. Anyways, so I guess having some part traffic do help. And even though I got the part traffic, and half the time when I have my real traffic, my traffic global plugin running, I can't really see the traffic, but just knowing it's out there just gives me a sense of a live dynamic environment. Okay, so let's quit and load live traffic global. How should we get traffic global? Let's go to the X-Plane files and let's search for it. Traffic. Let's just search. So I do have some traffic global um, programs on my computer, and they all look like they're ready to go. So the last time we were here, we kind of looked at how X-Plane, how you can go to the X-Plane store, uh, the xplane.org store, and get add-ons and download them. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and install Traffic Global. Another version of this product is already installed. This version cannot continue. To configure, I've got to remove the existing version. Add, remove programs, and let's look for Traffic Global. And there we go. So let's uninstall it. Let's see what else might I need to uninstall while I'm here. Some of these aircraft I already got installed. I'm going to uninstall the RealityXP for the Gorman. I know that install can be confusing. And so those are two plugins that we know we can go ahead and use the installer. The torque sound is running okay. The SAM suite, probably ought to uninstall that too. And the SAM, which stands for Scenery Animation Manager, has more to do with the animation at airports for airliners than for GA, but I still like to run it because there are some elements that I pick up. All right, so I think we're good. I don't see anything. The XAviation, I wonder if that's here. XAviation, oh, that would be down at X. Looking for aviation. Okay, so I don't see that, but I know that installed with an installer and I was having trouble with it. All right, so this 422 version, I'm gonna run that again. Agree to the license, tell it yes, and let it do its thing. So it shouldn't hopefully take too long processing. And I can actually close that window. I'm done with it. Okay, so let's see, processing. This shouldn't take, I don't think this takes very long. Preparing to install. Welcome to Traffic Global, to the Traffic Global for Explain Setup Wizard. All right, and yada, 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 warning, yada, yada. And it found a folder that I want. Great. Okay, so I'm surprised that it defaulted to the X explain as opposed to the C, drive C explain. Maybe I should refer to them as the X-ray explain and the Charlie explain. All right, so it's being installed. And as soon as it finishes, then I'm going to load up explain and we'll take a look at what the traffic looked like. So rather than hold you guys hostage while it's installing, pop back in when explain loads. Successful installation successfully completed. Installing. See, thank you for installing Traffic Global. To fully enable, please enter your license number in the plugin traffic thing. Okay, so I got Traffic Global here, and it wants me to put in a license number in a license. And first, let me enter my email, and now let me enter my license. Okay, so thank you for buying the license. So my license is fully activated, or it should be. And let's see, traffic density is max, dynamic traffic is on, synthetic GA traffic is enabled, sounds are enabled. I don't want the sounds too loud. Effects enabled. Label size, I probably have to adjust that and use. So I may have to tweak that a little bit. Collide with user. No, I've had too many occasions when I'm sitting on the tarmac and Traffic Global doesn't see me. And I'm sorry, sitting on the runway and taxi sitting on the runway and Traffic Global doesn't see me and crash into my plane and I have to restart the flight through no fault of mine. Okay, so the red is, I see these red labels, and usually I can use the insert button to toggle through them, and it is active. So Traffic Global set that up. And let me change some slides. I don't want to spend too much time with this in the settings here because you guys probably, let's see, label size, turn it up. You guys probably are not using it. Okay. And yes, okay. Let me shut that down. And I actually can't tell that the label size got any bigger, but I think there's an update to Traffic Global because this looks like an older version. May not be, but kind of, I know I should be able to go in and tweak airline traffic versus GA traffic, and I don't see the setting to do that. So I'm expecting to get a update. All right, and I think those updates are pushed to me automatically. Let me just check here, make sure. I don't want to be sitting around waiting for an update that never comes because I didn't check out something. And our flight schedule are missing. Yep, create mini dump flight schedule. I'm not sure what some of this stuff mean, but um, and this video is not about Traffic Global. It's just about the plugin and plugins in general. So enough of this. All right. So one more thing that I want to show you, even with installing plugins manually, I should be able to, let's see, let's go to explain. I should be able to go to resources and plugins and see the plugin that Traffic Global installed out of folder, and there it is. Okay. It also, I think the Gizmo plugin was part of the 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 Hot Start TBM that's not quite working, and I get these miscellaneous plugins like XJet and Gizmo. Some those plugins generally help control the license process, so you don't want to take them out anyway. This list will grow as I add more plugins. All right, so what other plugin do we want? We got Traffic Global, and I didn't do a good job looking around for actual traffic. I spent most time looking at the labels, and I didn't turn off the draw part aircraft buttons. So I got to remember to do those. But before I do, I want to go ahead and find another plugin that I know that I'm missing. Now, let's see what else. Let's just go and see. These are zip files. When you see this little zipper in the middle, and let me scroll down and get past my zip files. I got them sorted by the date they were modified. Okay, so I got a world traffic PDF. I do have the world traffic program, traffic that if Traffic Global misbehaved, then I can default back to that. All right, but let's just go and see what other plugins I have. Now, here's a plugin, SimHaven Vegetation. Actually, that's not a plugin. That actually is part of Scenery. And like I said in a previous video, I did not, how should I say, I did not really fully set this up so that I could keep plugins in one folder and aircraft in another, and I just got them all stuck here in this explain files data dish. Anyway, my RealityXP would be a good plugin to go ahead and get installed, and that there again, that one comes with a installer. Lose my thought there. Okay, actually, not a good multitasker anymore. Okay, so I'm going to launch RealityXP Garmin GTN, and I don't have Explain 10 or 9, so I'm only going to install the Explain 11 plugin. Okay, so I need to tell it where it's at, and by default, it's coming up C :/explain explain space 11, and I'm just going to change the C to the X because I know that's where RealityXP, because I know that's where my new explains residing. All right, setup will download and run the Garmin GTN TPN PC Trainer installer, and when the download completes and the Garmin Trainer installer window opens, select install option. Download and install the GTN TXI Trainer, PC Trainer, okay? And I am, let's see, I am just going to well, check, make sure it's the most recent installer. And there is a newer version of the installer available, so let me go ahead and download it. And now I'm gonna drop this in my downloads and replace an old one there. And now I'm gonna hit install. File not found. Okay, so I suspect that what I need to do is accept the default locations. So let's go and do this again. Well, shucks. All right, so I cut this out and just put the good stuff in. All right, so let me try to run this one more time. Better yet, it's insanity. So I decided to skip checking whether this is the most recent installer, and it will eventually update itself or compel me to update it. So anyway, yeah, that's finished. And I'm waiting on the computer. Whatever happened to those days when we had, maybe it was this. Okay, this computer. I was going to say, whatever happened to those days when we had to wait on the computer, or when the computer had to wait on us. Anyway, I think I got it figured out now. This is going to be a reinstall. And validate my account. By default, your application will be instructed to C. All right, that's fine. I don't mind having some of the program on C. And I'm using the default locations so that when I update it, I don't have to remember what to change. Okay, so that's X, explain. So that's the main thing that I'm concerned about. Okay, and feel like I went through this already, but it's taking me through it again, so I'm gonna go through it again. And it says finished. All right, and just like that, I should have the Garmin installed on in my X-Plane. So let's launch X-Plane and see what we got. So I am back, just spun in, and wow, listen to the storm out there. And I don't think that's matching my real world weather, but I do see the GTN, and let's see, it is working okay, I think. I didn't, let me, while it's raining, it's not thundering and lightning, I don't think. And especially not with this. Well, I tell you what, let me just turn the volumes down. Should be a volume button in here somewhere. I think that's it. And it's not popping up. Anyway. Something else that we'll figure out eventually. Aircraft exterior can go down. Cockpit, co-pilot radios I like to leave up. Environmental, user interface. And that might be a little better. Okay. So after all that, we're going to go with, man, we got clouds all the way to 50,000 feet MSG. Wow. Let's see, so match, manually configured. And we're just going to select this KVOT preset and apply it. All right, so let's see. And I need to turn off draw parked aircraft. I think that might keep traffic global from drawing draw parked aircraft. It is off. Okay, good. And let's look around the airport. Okay, so I don't see any aircraft on the ground. Okay, I do see some at the gates. And I don't see any what do you call it, GA aircraft yet. I will go and make sure I got the latest version of Traffic Global manually. All right, so there is another plugin. Okay, so anyway, enough with the plugins that auto install. Now, plugins can be relatively easy to install without the installer. Let's see, now what plugin do I want here? Let's go and figure out, let's just find a plugin that does not have to do with scenery. SkyMax, that's an auto installer. Um, and I'm not ready for little now Mac map. Um, okay, X camera, that's a good one. All right, so basically, what I like to do is unzip it, and I usually unzip it to the same drive that the zip drive is installed on. And as you can see here, I got show extracted files when completed checked off. So when it finishes unzipping, it's going to automatically show me the extracted files. And it says I got about 30 seconds. Unzipping roughly at about a megabyte per second. And so it's a pretty good size set of files. 20 seconds, 15 seconds, 10 seconds, 5 seconds, and we are done. All right, so with some plugins, if I drag this whole thing over, then sometimes there's a subfolder up under it. So I always like to double check and make sure that I see my plugin files and subfolders um, right up under where it should be. If I do, then I can just copy it and go to the plugins directory. It's always going to be up on the resources, plugins, and just drop it there, paste it. And just like that, I'm installing X camera. So just to drive that home in case I went a little too fast for some of you guys, because if you're like me, sometimes I need to look at stuff twice, if not more. Let's see, there's a better camera X organizer. Um, some of these plugins, I don't recall what they do. Um, let's see, SkyMax again, X camera, and XPRealistic. That's another good one. All right. So I'm gonna go and extract XPRealistic. Pause. Okay, 97, 99, 100% complete. XPRealistic, looking good. Go back up one level. Copy this guy. And go to X. Let's see if I've got X-plane files. I'm still at D. Got to be careful with that. Resources and plugins and paste that. Now I could have pasted a shortcut and just left them on drive D, but one of the reasons I got the SSD drive, a 2 terabyte, so that I could house pretty much everything on the SSD drive. All right, so when I load back in and look up on the plugins, I should have XPRealistic and X Camera. All right, and as you know, with Xplane, you always have to activate Payware, and these are Payware. So um, we'll get it, we'll check, and then I activate it. So I've got Xplane loaded, and we'll check to see if we see those two plugins. And there's XPRealistic and Xcamera. All right, so like I said, they have to be activated. Um, Control panel, and I think the XPRealistic, one of them may allow you to use some parts of it, but you have to activate it to use the whole thing, I do believe. But again, I don't want to get caught up in actually working on the plugins right now. I just want to install them, and I do want to activate them, to be honest with you. Um, but I don't want to spend a lot of time activating them. Okay, so like the the X camera says it's not registered, so in order to use the full thing, I'm going to have to put the registration information in, and looks like I am going to have to figure out how to do that. So, and that I, I may or may not video, and the same may be with the okay. So with the XPRealistic, here's where I enter the product key. And let's see, let me just go ahead and enter my email address. And let me get the product key. Okay, thank you for choosing XPRealistic. You're about to experience Xplane like never before. And this, I gotta tell you guys, is a really important um, product key for me, because it's what the immersion, pretty important product key, pretty important plugin, because the immersion that it adds can be subtle, but it's how should I say, it's it's amazing actually. Um, One thing I do like to do is turn the volume down, and and I don't have any profiles. If I'd have been thinking, I'd have uploaded all my all my product out of, let's see, well, let's see, um, virtual. I don't think that's gonna. Let's try Frank. Yeah, so I know I have uploaded some on occasion. Hold on, guys. So in any case, I will figure this out, come back and tweak this plugin, and any of the other plugins. None of this stuff is, let's see, I'm actually looking to see if I see my name. None of this stuff is, let's see, software currently installed, basement, Fusion board. I didn't see my name, but none of this stuff is is, get it up. None of this stuff is, shoot. I lost that train of thought, and I'm thinking if I start to say what I remember, it would come back. None of this stuff is something that you're gonna do one time and forget it. If stuff that you use, then you're gonna wind up you're gonna find that you um, may tweak from time to time, or update from time to time, or even upgrade occasionally. Okay, so let's. I think you get the idea of some of these updates, and on the next video, I would like to talk about the updates a little bit more before we move on to scenery. Okay, guys, so now that I've got XPRealistic installed, then I spine back in the Carbon Cub, and I just want to stop and take a moment to tell you how immersive some of these plugins is making X-Plane. If you recall, not long ago, I spun in and I was the only one on the tarmac. I did have to tweak. I did have to go out and download the latest version of Traffic Global to get my GA aircraft, but now I no longer feel like I'm the only one in this virtual world, even though I'm literally the only human in the virtual world. Um, so just by having some of these plugins really make things immersive. So if you don't have them, then don't be afraid to get them. The ones that I've got so far that's noteworthy, I've got SkyMax Pro and Real Weather to enhance the real weather that X-Plane is capable of generating. But unless you really want a little higher definition, unless you want your clouds to be somewhat higher definition, I think X-Plane Real Weather is fine. Um, I've got XPRealistic, and that provides some head shake, um, quite a number of things. Some head shake. Let's see if we can get this guy started. Get some mixture in. There we go. And put in some flaps. And I think this guy right here, I think that may be AviTab. I need to install AviTab. I know I was missing something. Um, but see how the aircraft kind of lean and kind of turns, my head kind of turn into the way that I'm turning. That's all due to this XP Realistic, and there are a number of enhancements that come along with that. And of course, Traffic Global is a no-brainer. Um, but if you don't want to spend the money for the payware version, then there are some free versions of Traffic um, of of Traffic software for X-Plane. Uh, One of the easiest ones to install to get started with without any hassle would be Live Traffic. And X Camera, um, even though I have X Camera, uh, I use it when I fly the Pilatus, and I've got only a few views set up. Quite frankly, I have not tapped into the power of X Camera, and that's something that I keep planning to do. But some of these plugins take a little time. But let's go ahead and get AviTab right quick, and hopefully we can make this one really straightforward. Let's see. So we are going to have to quit, and I do have, like I said, I do have FS Global Real Weather, which is a plugin for, which is an enhancement for Explain. Okay. So I think I should already have AviTab downloaded, but it's been so long since I upgraded it. It may be a new version out there. So let me go out there and check. So I'm just going to search for AviTab and see what my results are. And AviTab. And this happens a lot of times. Like I've got 5,400 results, and this guy, these tips can help you out. I got 5,400 results, and I don't want to have to look through all of these. I know I want to download AviTab, so even though I don't like promoting explain.org, it really is the only show in town. Um, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on these more search options, and I'm gonna search for files. Okay, and I can actually go into utilities. I think AviTab is a utility. Um, let's see, explain. Let's see, yeah, utilities. Okay, and search content, and AviTab. Okay, VR compatible tablet with P. Okay, so let's see, is that the version that I want? Let's click on it and see. Um, it's VR. Let's see, need a moving map. Let's see, I think so. I think it's just saying that it's been upgraded to be VR compatible. All right. So, yep. I am going to save that in my Explain files, and I've already have it. So I do have the latest version. All right. So it's downloaded. Okay. And I can unzip it. The one files. Okay. There we go. Now this is AviTab, and AviTab is a plugin. So I'm gonna go back up one, and I am gonna copy this whole folder. The way I like to copy is just to right click and say copy, and then I'm gonna open Explain drive Z. I mean drive X. Explain files, resources, plugins, and I'm gonna paste it right here. And now I'm gonna restart Explain. Let's turn on everything again. And I should have AviTab here, toggle tablet. And okay, so here I am with the tablet, and I can get maps and um, so forth and so on. I think the maps actually download from the internet, so it does take it a minute to load up. But anyway, these plugins really make a difference. I'm trying to close that up. And for some reason, I thought that the AviTab dropped into here, but apparently it doesn't. And um, and yeah, so there's no real way for me to drop it in there if it doesn't drop in automatically. But this is the Steam version of the Carbon Cup, so I digress. I can really make some long videos, can I? Okay. Um, so let's start up again. And here. And what I like about the Carbon Cub is when I want to look around, I can literally fly around stuff and check stuff out really, really slow. Um, I would say as slow as 50 knots or about 53 miles per hour. Let's see how slow can we go. Um, at 2 notches of flaps in. So keep this scene in mind, because next I am going to be installing scenery, and that's probably what you guys are interested in most, is scenery. Now I do have some plugins, some scenery plugins. I think they're, well, I got the sound plugin, and it's a little of everything, but I will get to that. But on the next set of videos, or the next video, we are going to do scenery. Um, but I got to tell you, X-Plane out of the box with a little bit of traffic for immersion isn't bad. Um, it's, you know, it's almost believable. It's not it's not that bad. In fact, the object for the GA terminal is the right shape. So I don't I'm not disappointed. Okay, guys, until next time.
Y'all come back now. Here.